Dawn breaks and a phrase pierces you like a thorn. The mind runs, manufactures stories, lights a fire. But today you do something different. You stop for a heartbeat, feel the precise place in the body where it stings, name it without drama, take 2 deep breaths, refuse to feed the movie. The wave loses force, the day changes its axis. Pain finds no chains to latch onto. You deny nothing. You hold it without turning it into destiny. In seconds, you break the wheel of suffering. It works under cold office lights, in a kitchen at midnight, on a street with a distant siren. It worked in monasteries that burned, in kingdoms at war. Today, it works in you. Pain is not only what happens, it is what we do with what happens. A stimulus touches, a sensation is born, and if no one is watching, the mind spins tales. The tales push habits, the habits mold identity. Identity raises walls. If you interrupt that chain early, you neither repress nor explode. You free. It isn't magic. It is the fine mechanics of awareness. It was trained in caves and cloisters, on mountains and in cities. Today it is trained in your breath. It isn't an ending. It's a threshold. A veil lifts and shows the loom where you weave pain. One thread, another thread, until a knot. Most people yank hard and the knot tightens. Others burn the loom and are left without cloth. The third way, see the first thread and let it go in time. That is where the wheel breaks. Cut. A market of voices and screens. A phrase hits you. You're worthless. A tiny contact, barely audible. Sensation. A prick behind the breastbone. Then the usual storm. Same as always. Nobody values me. Everything is lost. But today a different scene unfolds. You notice the impact, locate the sting, bring attention to that exact place in the body, and wait for 2 slow breaths. The story runs out of fuel. What remains is what is. Heat, tingling, tremor. You pass through it, and it passes. Nothing outside changed. The point that decides everything changed. The enemy is not your boss, or your ex, or the economy. It is the inertia that drags you from impact to narrative. It is the autopilot that confuses sensation with truth, emotion with identity, thought with command. It is the second arrow you shoot at yourself. The system of noise, screens, hurry, algorithms, fattens that inertia until it becomes custom. The principle at hand is the exact antidote, a lucid pause that disassembles the machine. Picture a wheel. Each spoke is a step. Contact, sensation, thirst, grasping, fabrication. The birth of a wounded eye, suffering. It has spun like this for centuries. That wheel fed wars, vendettas, lineages of rancor. When the great University of Nalanda burned in the 12th century, some believed knowledge had died. It didn't. It lived on in beating chests that remembered the essential truth. If you cut the link between sensation and thirst, the wheel cannot turn. In the islands of the rising sun in the 16th century, sacred mountains burned beneath swords. Even so, at dawn, in some village, someone sat down, saw the sensation, did not feed it, and peace returned to a small kitchen. Big history changes when intimate history changes. The ancients spoke with an image that still cuts. The first arrow is inevitable pain. The second arrow is the one you shoot with your stories. The first strikes you, the second you choose without noticing. The principle you learn today teaches you not to choose it. It isn't denial, it is precision. Pain touches, you feel it, you do not turn it into identity. Salt that dissolves, not a stone that sinks you. Immediate lab. When the wave arrives, feel. Bring attention to the body, not the mind's screen. Where does it show up? Throat, chest, belly? Here. Stay for 2 long breaths. Name heat, pressure, not electricity. Simple words, light without a story. Allow, drop the defenses for a moment. This too is life moving through me. Love. Yes, love. Treat the sensation as you would a frightened child. Inner hand on the spot. Soften, release, watch it change. Nothing, absolutely nothing stays the same. Let it go without pushing. 5 verbs, 1 door. Practiced often, they become reflex. When the reflex appears, the wheel does not. An emperor looks over a field of dead and feels guilt like hot iron. The wheel demands more iron to silence guilt with conquest. That man chooses otherwise. Stop the hand. Turn inward. Study the mechanics of harm. Rule with compassion. In the Cordillera, young man, full of rage, learns to sit with his anger until he sees it dissolve like fog. In neighborhoods with midnight sirens, women carrying the world practice this on the bus and discover that the wound can breathe. Not showcase miracles. Humans learning not to chain themselves. Your mind expects frontal war. Don't think, don't feel, be strong. You do the opposite. You look head-on, you feel, you become soft and precise. Antithesis disarms. The blow loses power when it finds no blind resistance. You don't push the river, you offer it a channel. Science nods as well. Slow breathing and locating the sensation lower the nervous system's alarms. Naming with simple words brings the ordering cortex back online and turns the amygdala's volume down. Allowing without judgment breaks the association sensation equals danger. Releasing teaches a new route. In plain human speech, you become free where you used to be a hostage. Make a brief pact. At waking and before sleep, 1 minute of feeling, naming, allowing, loving, releasing. During the day, when the sting appears, create a pause. 2 slow breaths. No one notices, you do. Reduce the noise that fattens stories. Fewer simultaneous screens, more brief silence. At night, write 1 line. Today, where I saw the sensation and didn't chain myself. And when you free your pain, translate it into a gesture, freedom that isn't shared withers. In the desert, Sufis spoke of remembering the name so emotion wouldn't steal the oasis. In Christian cloisters, it was called vigilance, guarding the heart so the serpent wouldn't eat the garden. In Jewish homes, the nightly review cleans the day so you don't sleep entangled. In indigenous communities, early songs align the soul so the day's hunt doesn't devour the hunter. Different tongues, same precision. See in time, don't react blindly. It isn't naive positivity or anesthesia. You will cry when it's time. You will tremble when it's time. You will get angry when it's time. The difference? You won't build an altar to your anger. You won't make an identity of your fear. You won't repeat the old propaganda of I'm always like this. You will feel, and you will continue. Alive, not programmed. A life without pause manufactures ghosts, resentments that age with you, guilt that is inherited, patterns your children learn without wanting to. The system prefers you busy, distracted, inflamed. A busy mind sells easily, is guided easily, is switched off easily. Stopping to feel is resistance and love. See emotion as a beautiful animal you didn't choose. Don't cage it, don't hit it, don't let it loose to destroy the house. Walk it to the door. Sometimes it returns, sometimes not. But it learns the way. So do you. Even without a name, you already intuit the architecture. Thread, arrow, door, wheel. What remains is to say the key in its ancient vocabulary, not for exoticism, but for precision, to name the exact point that opens the lock. Imagine a workshop with humble tools, a worn bell, a frayed cushion, a short candle. A young person enters with a chest at war. The teacher doesn't preach. He asks, "Where does it hurt?" The young one touches the breastbone. Feel there while the bell sounds. The metal vibrates. The vibration crosses the room and wraps the knot. Name what's happening. Heat, heartbeat, water in the eyes. Allow. Dense silence. The wave rises, the wave falls. Love, inner hand, softness, release. The young one opens their eyes. No one has solved their life, but a door has been marked. So it won't slip away. Engrave it as pocket images. A thread you let go in time. An arrow you choose not to shoot, a knot you loosen with patience, a wave you breathe, an animal you walk to the door, signs of real progress. You answer half a second later, and better. Your body warns you before your tongue. You feel less obliged to be right. Emotion doesn't erase the person in front of you. You can be sad without being sadness. There will be days of small war, traffic, bills, needling messages, and days of great war, losses, diagnoses, farewells. In both, the principle is the same. Sometimes 2 breaths suffice. Sometimes you need community, therapy, friendly hands. The path is walked together, but the door, the small door between sensation and thirst, is always in you. The loom of your days benefits from a soft architecture. Morning, 2 minutes of feeling and naming. Noon, a quiet cup to remember the body. Afternoon, a short walk without a screen, counting steps to 10 and back to 1. Night, the written line that leaves a trace. Week, a meeting where you can offer someone listening. Month, a day of deliberate less noise to reset. Year, a brief retreat, even in your own neighborhood, to remember the map. Common mistakes and antidotes: confusing feeling with ruminating. Antidote: return to the body, not the story. Chasing rare results. Antidote: celebrate humble signals, fleeing ugly emotions. Antidote: radical curiosity, equal for all, practicing only when it hurts. Antidote: micro-practice is also in calm, becoming a judge of your progress. Antidote: tenderness toward the learner you are. There is a secret vow holding it all. Do no harm. You inhale to be available. You exhale to avoid adding to the world's suffering. That vow makes your gestures coherent. Words that don't fan fires. Schedules that don't break you. Company that doesn't drain you. Work that doesn't betray your chest. Now name the unnameable. This is the understanding of conditioned arising, applied at its key link, seeing sensation, vedana, before it becomes thirst, tanha. By recognizing sensation with mindfulness and equanimity, you interrupt the chain that manufactures suffering. It is the engineering of freedom, breaking the wheel at the humblest point. You don't need Pali or Sanskrit. You need to breathe and to feel. If a sound helps you carve the mind, choose one that is a bridge. Many have used Om Mani Padme Hum. It has been chanted in caves, markets and buses that snake up hills. It both translates and doesn't. Jewel in lotus, compassion in mud. Let it drop softly between chest and throat. If it doesn't resonate, use this line. May I feel this with kindness. Not to escape, but to remember while you feel. Inner alchemy needs no furnaces. The lead is the reaction. The gold is the freedom not to react. The fire is your presence. The alloy happens many times a day, in seconds without applause. It changes the world in the only part you govern, your next act. One more story to embody the map. In a southern harbor, an old fisherman lost his partner to a storm. Pain bent him like a broken mast. For weeks, every noise of the sea was a hook. One afternoon, sitting on the pier, he remembered a monk who had passed through town. When the wave arrives, watch it come and go without pushing or holding. The fisherman closed his eyes. Here, he said, touching his chest. Heat, not water in the eyes. He allowed, he loved, he released. The tide did not stop. The sea stopped being an enemy. He went back out with others, taught them to breathe between nets. The wound didn't vanish, but it learned to breathe. Another scene. In a glass tower, an analyst receives an email questioning her work. The old wheel asks for furious explanations, midnight emails, toxic alliances. She sets her palm on the desk and seeks the body. Pressure in the throat. 2 breaths. Pressure, heat, allow, love, release. She writes a brief reply, requests a meeting with data and respect. At home, she writes her nightly line. one less pattern to inherit to her children, a small war that did not become a lineage, images that return home when noise rises. An empty chair by a window, your place to feel. A steaming cup, the pause that saves stories. A lit lamp, the memory of your vow. A notebook with one line a day, humble consistency. Wooden beads, the sound that polishes the mind's edges. If the storm takes a proper name, grief, illness, rupture, the practice becomes softer and more tenacious. Wider breaths, shorter sessions, more visible help. You won't advance in a straight line. You'll advance in a spiral, visiting the same pain from new heights. Each turn loosens one more fiber of the knot. Each loosened fiber spares one more cruel word you were going to say. Each unsaid word saves a bridge. The map fits in one hand. Feel, name, allow, love, release. Between sensation and thirst, the lock. Between thirst and grasping, the fall. Between attention and equanimity, the key. If you fail one day, return. If you fail for a week, return. If you fail for a year, return. The door is not offended, it waits. Pain does not rule. The clarity with which you hold it does. If you see the first thread, the whole tapestry changes. Breaking the wheel isn't breaking yourself, it's learning to turn differently. Share this principle with anyone living trapped in their own storm. If this map kept you company, subscribe so we can keep lit together, the small lamp that knows the way home.